Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey everybody!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. Black coffee today. Some days just call for black coffee. And of course, an unfinished basement. There's never a bad day for that. So I hope everyone is well. Everyone is safe. Look after yourselves. Look after the people you care about in these oh-so-interesting times in which we live. So today we are going to catch up with our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, Chantopolis, and of course Foodie Beauty again. Interesting week for her. The mukbangs continue. She had a little bit of a pop on her community post, did a live dine and drive, which was a little... She had some words, it was more fat activism. But first, we are going to choose the winner of the Spooky Steve and Marc giveaway. For anyone who had entered, all you had to do was comment below yesterday's video. Any comment. Good, bad, indifferent, smiley face, F you, whatever. And I just happen to have my laptop. What we use is the YouTube random comment picker. So I pulled the URL from yesterday's video, put it in the comment picker, and it gave me unique commenters, 60. So I'm going to pull from here and see who the winner is. The winner receives a beautiful Spooky Steve and Marc gray t-shirt, which looks, thank you, Mark, which I should be wearing, like this. They're very cute. So, today's winner is...
Drum roll, please!
Dun, da, da, da. Linda Abruzzo.
Linda Abruzzo!
So, Linda, we will try to get in touch with you. If you're watching this, send us an email, hit us up on Facebook Messenger. We will need your address, or any address that we can send the shirt to. If you're not comfortable with that, no biggie. We'll just pick out another winner. It's okay. Give you about a week to get in touch with us. I'll leave a comment under your comment on that video so we can try to hook up. If you want to enter for tomorrow, all you have to do is leave a comment, any comment below this video today. Okay? And you will have a chance to win your own shirt. Woo. Giveaways, always fun. So, back to the business at hand. By the way, kudos to Mark for my eye makeup. The glasses don't really ruin it, I don't think. So, again, last week, mukbang, try-on haul. And that was pretty much it. So, going into this week, still Vlogtober, so still daily stuff. The Bowie shirt that she bought, don't know her a dime. She seemed to have either filmed a few things in the same day wearing it, or just loves it. And could you blame her? So where we left off, Vlogtober day 10. Pumpkin patch with Pete's and more vlogs. So they went to get out early. Now their idea of early is very different because they live on second shift, possibly third. So early could have been 4 in the afternoon. It's hard to say. They were going to buy pumpkins, look at pumpkins, maybe get some fudge. She was very excited for fudge. The place looked cute that they went. It was like a roadside place. She said they had more attractions, but they were open at night. And of course, with COVID, there's restrictions. You had to book ahead, only so many people. So a lot of moving parts. So they just kind of went to go look at the shop, I guess. God bless her. She's holding the camera and walking. And the breathing. It just, I want to breathe for her. It sounds so labored.
Oh, I agree. It was so distracting. I felt so almost bad.
I felt for real bad. I actually felt bad. You know, you don't want her to drop dead in the middle of a vlog. After all that going there, they forgot to get a pumpkin. Of all the things they didn't get. We have 2. We're going to be carving pumpkins next week. So basically they went all that way for fudge. And little apples. And cider. So... she said there's something nice and therapeutic about picking fruit, which there is. It's also laborious. Around July, August, we get huckleberries, blueberries in this area. And they're wild. You can go into the woods and just start picking them. You can go to farms and get them too, but it's not quite the same. Strawberry picking, she was going to go with her mother, I think, last year. That is back-breaking labor to do. Granted, the fresh strawberries are delicious. They're the size of apples. You can eat them like a hand fruit, but... It's back-breaking stuff. She did show off a new jacket that she got. I want to say she got it from Torrid, but I don't know if that's right. It's a 5X. She paid like $100 Canadian, and it's got these. It zips, but it has these buttons here and there. I thought it looked very sharp. For any larger women in the audience, or Chantal, if you're watching, there's a woman that I work with as a client, and she's a woman of size. And a site that she buys her stuff on is called Shein, Shein. I don't know if anyone heard of it. The prices she was quoting me that she was paying for clothing were unbelievable. I mean, it was like cheaper than thrift store prices. I don't know if that has to do with the quality of the clothing, if it's just not well known, if it's a new brand, if it's stuff that falls apart after one wash, like it's stuff you get at Deb. I don't know. So, an argument has been made also, not mine, but it could be, that she keeps buying new clothes because she's getting larger and doesn't fit into her old clothes, and that some of the new clothes are even a little tight for that. Just others' observations. So, Vlogtober Day 11, Big Macs and Big Mouths. This was published early because Canadian Thanksgiving came over the last week that we were reviewing. So she's got a nice fall background in the green screen. She's got the Bowie shirt on again, so this was either, again, the same day as the pumpkin patch, maybe later, or it could be the next day and she just loves that shirt. Mark was surprised that there was no 20-piece nugget. There wasn't. It was 2 sandwiches, 2 orders of fries, and a soda. It was very much like people who go get fast food every so often and get a sandwich and fries. I was impressed. I was very impressed. Pete shared his thoughts on Columbus Day, and Indigenous Peoples Day. Pete's. And this was pretty much like a true mukbang. There was not much other than chit-chat, chewing, eating, the usual stuff. And she ate hers very fast, and then there's always the mukbang caveat, the kind of thing that tries to defend it at the end. Well, I hadn't eaten all day. It's always like, I left a little mayonnaise. I didn't eat the whole slice. I'll eat the rest of this later. This was very light. It was only vegetarian lasagna. There's always some little twist at the end. So, then she talked briefly about her upcoming colonoscopy, which I'm sure anyone who's had one knows sucks. So, next, Vlogtober Day 12, Canadian Thanksgiving mukbang and huge unboxing of American treats. Okay. She got a big box from a viewer, friend, mod. It was very, very big. And she said in the middle it could have been its own video, because it was long. It was a 45-minute video, which, aside from a live from her, that's a pretty long video. Most of her videos are 20 to 30 minutes with the mukbangs and the try-ons and the whatnots. 45 is a lot. So, she was eating leftovers from Thanksgiving in the other part of the video. That's, she did attend Thanksgiving with her family. It was 4 people, she said. I think she went to Pete's place, and there were some folks there. Originally, it was going to be her and Pete's. They were advising certain public health protocols in Canada. She made a decision based on her priorities and her choices to go and not stay there. People make all sorts of different compromises and beliefs and choices around COVID and masking and distancing. And would she be the first? No. Was she going to be the last? No. If it was a bad decision, she'll find out in 2 weeks. But I suspect that she was cautious. I hope she was cautious for her own sake, because she is a walking, breathing, pre-existing condition, and it would be dangerous for her to get sick. It'd be dangerous for anybody to get sick, but she has it would be harder for her to recover, perhaps. So, the stuff she got in the box was really cool. Now, I live in the United States, and Chantal said, and I agree, nobody does needless junk food like we do here in the United States. I've seen stuff from other countries, which is a little bit weird. But we do the most inane crap. Drumstick cereal, like the ice cream cone, the drumsticks. Cinnamon Toast Crunch churro flavored. This woman sent her some leggings, like 3 pairs of leggings. And Chantal was very polite in saying, I'll try them on. They might be a little small, but they're a good motivation. Maybe if she didn't say lose some weight, but she was, implying as much. Gracious. I have to square this. Now, maybe you might think Chantal wasn't so gracious. She should have just said thank you and whatever. I don't think her reactions were over the top. I think she was genuinely grateful. And square that against another person I review who is less than grateful, who tells you straight to the camera, I'm not going to pretend I like it if I don't. Who will say that your heart was in the right place, but I'm not going to eat it. Chantal was a little more
sickening.
I know. And Chantal, actually, though she may get gifts from fans, I don't see too many fan mail, viewer mail videos out of Chantal. She makes quite comfortable living just on ads and whatever other places she gets her money from. So she doesn't do too many, of that. But this was sweet. It was really geared, I think, towards the person who sent her the stuff. To show off, this is what you sent me, I want you to see it. Plus, it's good video content. Plus, it's another thing to show off. Plus, plus, plus. So, there was some stuff in there I had never heard of, though. Sunflower jelly, I never heard of. Maybe I'm a little coastal. I mean, I don't know. I still live somewhere on the fine line between urbane East Coast lifestyles and bumblefuck. We're just out of that. So, sent her a couple dresses, which I also thought were very nice. She sent her some Chow Chow. We have Chow Chow in the area. It's like pickled, chopped stuff. Amish country is only about 2 or 3 hours from here. My brother lives in Amish country. In Pennsylvania is where we live. And you can get pickled everything there. You can pickled watermelon rind, pickled apples, pickled this. I mean, everything can make the winter. It'll go. Another sundress, some payday bars. Now, some of this stuff, I didn't look at the comment section, but I suspect there was a ton of Canadians who probably said, you can get that shit here. Not all of it, but some of it. But Chantal, again, being gracious, was, I don't know if we have that here. Thank you for the gift. I want to try it. And she tried a bite of everything. She didn't smash everything that came through, but she did try a little of each candy, a little of each pickle, whatever. Let's see. The pickled stuff, she does have, okay, foodie beauty. Is she a foodie, or will she just eat anything in front of her? Well, I've seen her plow through piles of junk food. So, no, she's not that picky. And she'll eat mall Chinese food, as we find out later, so she's not that discriminatory. But when she does want to be picky about her food, she has a decent vocabulary for explaining it. When she's describing food, I get the idea of what she's talking about. So, were she not a Hoover for fast food, I would probably, be interested in hearing her opinion on other kinds of foods. But, I mean, it's hard to take her a little seriously about some of that kind of stuff. When she's like talking about, ooh, the notes, the aroma, the this and the that in the back, and I believe it, but then I have to try to again square that against eating 7 cheeseburgers in a row. It's like, yes, maybe on one side you could be a connoisseur and a food critic, and you are a foodie, but on the other side, there's like the recreational eating portion or the financial. I need to eat this to either make money, to feel better, to prove a point, whatever the other things are. So Thanksgiving dinner, it was pretty typical American fare. It's like what we have here in the States. It was turkey, ham, mashed potatoes, stuffing. I love stuffing. It's my favorite part too. And then she had blueberry pie for that sweet tooth she doesn't have. She really doesn't have much of one. She says she doesn't, and then sweets pop up. But I don't see as many sweets. Sweet coffee drinks? Yeah. She'll hit up a Starbucks and get a muffin and a coffee after going through a drive-through. But by and large, I don't see her sit down with like a whole cheesecake or anything like that. It probably has happened, but it hasn't happened recently, I guess. Let's see. She wanted to vlog Thanksgiving, but she said sometimes she just wants to go back to being normal Chantal and not foodie beauty. I don't know. I guess that would be nice to kind of separate yourself, because she did vlog another holiday. It was the last holiday with BB, I think. And I don't know if anybody remembers that, but there was a very cringy kiss in the last holiday video with BB. I think things were already on the outs, and they both probably knew, and it looked very forced, and I felt bad for Chantal in that video, because she had to have looked back at it and thought, ew, not kind. But she decided not to film this, and that's her prerogative. I mean, we're all entitled to a life outside of YouTube, of course, and we don't need to disclose everything we do off camera. Mark and I do, because why not? There's nothing so private that we probably wouldn't share. Handful of things here and there, but not too much. So next, Foodie, Beauty and the Beast French onion soup mukbang. So she's dressed like, is it Belle from Beauty and the Beast? Belle? Okay. So the first thing she said, this video is not for kids. Now I know there's issues with, you have to rate. I know when I go in to make a video now, it'll say every single video, is this video made for kids or not? And is this video for people over 18 or not? the fact that she was talking about cartoon stuff and Beauty and the Beast, maybe she just wanted to put it out there on Main Street real early. This is not for children. So, she was dressed as Belle. Cute. It was cute. The outfit was cute. And kudos to her for finding something that was, I was just straight saying, something to fit, and that wasn't embarrassing. I mean, you could say it was embarrassing of a costume, but it wasn't like this really uncomfortable looking, too tight outfit. I thought it fit. I didn't think it looked bad. It's nothing I'd wear, but I would want to be Belle from Beauty and the Beast. That's her. She makes some food from scratch, some French onion soup, which is one of my favorites. So it did look good. She got the recipe from another woman who she linked in her description as someone that she really liked. So she did give a shout out in that video. She described herself as a sweaty, labored, breathing princess. That about sums it up. I think that would be on her, her epitaph. She's eating the soup with a wooden spoon. Again, a mukbang thing? A mukbang thing is the wooden spoon, I guess. Am I getting that right? The wooden fork too, because that makes a cameo later. Why not a cardboard one? Why not eat with your hands? Christ. So, then she is talking about foods that will help your immune system, because she's trying to stay, well, I guess. The gummies she's been eating. She's having an orange a day, a little apple cider a day, and a lot of onions. This is very good. She talks about her favorite Disney princess, and then talks about Disney stuff, movies, and characters. Talk. Not too much else going on. Then we have mall Chinese food. Now, this looked every bit of mall Chinese food. Every bit of it. She puts the food court in the background as the green screen thing. The green screen was cute at the beginning, and now it's kind of bothering me because it looks like the poor outlining of it is like a weather girl, kind of, or a weatherman, where it looks like there's a black outline around her everywhere, and it looks kind of not cool. It was cool at the beginning, but now it seems like something's not working the same. So mall Chinese food with a wooden fork. Okay. She took one of those. She took a beauty bite, and in this one it was particularly over the top. I know some of the mukbangs are more sexualized than others, if you will. She portrays something of a sexual relationship with food, which she may have. Some people have that. I'm not judging. I'm not saying. People think that Mark and I being here is punishable by death. So, people can judge however they like. But observing it certainly is something to see. So, and she has 3 entrees. And I'm not mad at her for Chinese food, though. When I hit my weight loss goal, because this used to be a weight loss channel originally. It was called Smoke Yourself Thin. And I had lost about 40 pounds before I started the channel. I was about 230. I got to my goal weight of 180. And the first thing I wanted to do was go to an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. Because I love them, and I'm indecisive, and you can get a little bit of everything. So, of course, you can tell I still had some lingering food issues, because the first thing I wanted to do when I hit my weight loss goal is destroy my progress by going to an all-you-can-eat buffet. So we're still working on things, but I can appreciate that. She said she always liked mall Chinese food, which she's eaten a few times over the years, because she doesn't really have incredibly high standards. Then she shared a bit of a detail about hair growing out of one of her lady parts, her nipple, I guess. Not an OBGYN, not a medical professional. She had a hysterectomy. That puts a woman into menopause relatively quickly. If I understand aging, and I may not, so this is a great place to correct me, below. Hair growth after menopause, because estrogen levels drop and testosterone goes up and hair comes out of places. Like, I know some women start to grow facial hair, which Chantal already had, but some start to grow it more, or they get a mustache afterwards just because your hormone levels change. Hers changed it probably very suddenly, because all of a sudden she went from having all the parts to not like that. So I don't know. Side effect? Maybe? I don't know. No shame in it. Bodies are weird. Look at this. We didn't even know where to stop because my forehead doesn't end. We had to pick a natural stopping point because it just keeps going. So after the details of this dream, I kind of skipped ahead a little bit in some of these. she was talking about people accusing her of having no pride. No comment. She said she's proud of some things, but she doesn't have a very prideful nature. Okay. I'm all for not taking ourselves too damn seriously. I think too many people do. I think people feel very indignant, especially people who are, I don't know, easily offended. They get very, don't, who do you think you are? That's, I'm very much, if you haven't gathered, like a bedwetting liberal type, but I'm not particularly PC, and I'm not particularly put off by certain things like that. I know the difference between offensive and non-offensive language, and I try not to use offensive language. But if it's used towards me, I don't fall to the floor and weep. So I'm built for it maybe a little bit better. But you can take things lightly and with a grain of salt, and you can, you don't have to make a joke out of yourself. You can take things lightly and be not so stuck up and not so prideful, with also not making a fool out of yourself. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. She finished eating everything of the Chinese food except the green peppers and carrots she picked off. So, Pete's popped in also to say hi. Now, there's a community post and a live dine and drive right now. So I'm going to go through... We'll go through the live dine and drive first, because I'll be perfectly frank, I'm not sure which came first. So we'll go through this, what I pulled out. Again, bullet points, because when she's going on for an hour and a half, it's stop, notes. Stop, notes. So, Vlogtober Day 15, live dine and drive and trip update. This is the trip to Dominican Republic, which I had almost forgot about. And I think she was probably hoping a lot of us forgot about. From... I don't know how long ago, months, before COVID. Before COVID, this was being planned, like a year ago almost. So, like most live, she said hello to 1,000 people. Skipped ahead a little. She was going to, I guess, see BB, but BB's not in her social circle. So BB, who was very sweet, cooked a meal, filmed it, gave it to her, and then gave her some of the meal. What a nice guy. What a nice guy. She said they're still friends, there's no funny business, and they had a mature separation. Okay. Who knows what goes on behind closed doors and off camera. She says that, and she's right. And then she said there's no way she's going on this trip, and it's not related to her weight. Okay, who called it? I can't take credit for it, because I think everyone did. Is there a pandemic? Yes. I don't even know. In the United States, we're not even allowed to leave. I mean, we don't even need excuses. We are so disease-ridden and poorly managed that we can't even fucking swim in the ocean, probably. But I don't know what the state of things are where she is. February is a long time away. Who knows what could happen between now and then. But I think, a lot of us had called it earlier, that the trip, for any number of reasons, it wasn't going to have to do with her weight. She was never going to put it on that, but that the trip wasn't going to happen. She does propose a follow-up trip when things are better to Jamaica, where she has a relative. Okay. Whatever. She was going to fly first class, which is what she had decided when the first weight loss goal, she had started a weight loss journey again. Healthy eating, moderate eating. I forget what the shtick was that time. But the plan was to be at a certain weight and a level of health. Not a certain weight, because she's a certain level of health that she'd be able to sit on a plane, I guess in coach, and walk around with her friends and have a good time and not be stuck. Then she was like, screw it, I'll be fat and proud and fly first class. Fine. Go for it. But then no. Not after that. So, and she's not comfortable with the refund policy because she has to shell out a few grand quick to confirm the spot, and she doesn't feel comfortable that she'd get her money back if it was canceled, so boom. She drove to get some grape leaves and a chicken shawarma sandwich, which all sounds very good, and then wanted to find a Starbucks for dessert. Then the conversation steers towards the body-positive, mukbang, self-harm, health, beauty, fat story time. Now, I found Chantal to be very pleasant most of this week. As pleasant as she gets. Don't throw rocks at me. As pleasant as Chantal gets, she was this week. Bordering likable. But don't get between her and her food, because she will just go off the handle. It's like you're criticizing a person. It's like you're criticizing a child or a sibling. she's very defensive of it. So, she talks about how eating like garbage, like she does, is bad for everyone, including thin people, including thin mukbangers. This is true. Eating poorly is bad for all of us. However, the consequences can be different for all of us. I don't know that Stephanie Sue needs a CPAP or has trouble, has to have someone help her put on her shoes. You know, it's the same behavior by a couple people, but because one has a different relationship with food than the other, the consequences are different. You know, Chantal can go on and eat 7 cheeseburgers, and Stephanie Sue can go on and eat 7 cheeseburgers if she wants to. However, the consequences are different for Chantal because Chantal, as she has disclosed, has an eating disorder, much of which has to do more with your thinking about food than your actual behaviors. Certainly behaviors are what add up to it, but... So, it kind of spilled into the conversation of, well, mukbangs, self-harm, demonetizing them, all that kind of stuff started to come together. And, of course, she says, I don't eat huge quantities of food. Okay. And what people eat is nobody's business. Now, I had to, you know, spit out my coffee for that, only because the name of her channel is Foodie Beauty. She eats in every video. It's been made everybody's business what she eats. It would be snooping for people to ask, I don't know, what I eat or what Mark eats. Actually, it's not snooping, we would tell you, but because it's not like a big relevant part of the channel, if in every comment we had comments about what are you eating, are you eating healthy, this isn't good for you, blah blah blah, it would seem out of place because the few videos they just watched weren't about food. We haven't had a video about food in a bit. But if every freaking day you're making a video about food and then telling people not to talk about how you're eating, you know, it's maybe annoying, but it shouldn't be a surprise. Like, I don't know. She talks about diet culture being poisonous. Okay, I'll grant her this on diet culture. I'll beat her halfway, and then we're diverging. She says diet culture has spoiled a lot of things. Yes, it has, but you need to lay down in the prone position to be that level of a victim, really, because if you know it's happening, then you have some power to do something. I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker here, by the way. Don't trip on my soapbox on the way out. The kind of things she talks about I feel kind of passionate about. Not for her. I'm not mad at her. I don't think she's a bad person. But I think there's a line of thinking that's damaging to a lot of people, myself included if I get lost in it. Diet industry frames food as a moral issue sometimes. We even have language like guilty pleasure. It's sinfully good. And if a person who appears to be fat eats something that looks sinfully good, there's a moral judgment that does get made by some people. Again, going back to what is the reason Chantal was overweight? Does she have an addiction to food? Does she have an eating disorder? Or is she just a glutton? People could make cases for probably all three. But when she's talking about the diet industry, it did kind of moralize food choices for a lot of people. Yes. And she says diets don't work. That's correct. Well, any diet will work if you can stick to it. You have to find one you can stick to. And then she says, I'm not talking about lifestyle changes. That's the point, is the lifestyle change. But that's actual change is not theoretical. It's not making a list. It's not buying the food. It's sticking to the schedule, eating the food, and not eating the other food. So, why is this relevant when she hasn't brought her weight up in a while? Because sometimes the best prediction of future behavior is past behavior. So if she's made weight loss videos in the past, she might again. You know, it might come up again. She says she's not going to, but she said before no mukbangs. I've heard her say a dozen times she's not going to make mukbangs again, and now we've had months of it. So, well, at least weeks. So I don't know. But okay. She also said she's struggling with her mental health. Okay, and she doesn't want to bring that on a public platform. Okay, so that's fine. That's a medical issue. It's no big deal. But I think where viewers get twisted is when some of this information comes onto YouTube, some of it doesn't, and people get curious. Not just haters who are snoopy, but people who are viewers and who care and want to know. and keeping everybody on the line to create anticipation, to create drama, to, you know, for that kind of thing. It's not cool. I was watching another channel that I review. I compare them a lot for whatever reason. And they recently just cut their content down from 4 to 5 videos a day to maybe a few a week. And with very little explanation, though I think most people know why. And for all the people that watched for all that time and who were holding her up financially and keeping her in groceries during a rough period, now she doesn't seem to need YouTube as much as a source of income, so it's like, bye. Thanks, guys. I'll see you when the money runs out. It's a very poor attitude. I think it's kind of like it's a taking advantage of people sort of situation. Now, I don't think Chantal does that to the extent the other person does. But teasing people by saying, let me invite you into my life and show you something personal, and then say, never mind, you don't deserve to know about it. And then bring it back again and say, never mind, you don't deserve to know about it. It's manipulative. I mean, I guess all entertainment has to have some sturm and drag, but this isn't supposed to be entertainment. I don't know. Coffee break. I didn't mean for this to be a long video, but she just went on and on. And I'm going on and on about her. Then she said, she thinks sometimes, people are threatened by confident fat people. Now, confident fat people. Confidence can be intimidating to a lot of people, regardless of size. Confidence is also sexy on any person of any size, or any age, actually. However, I am not intimidated by a confident fat person. I am sad for a delusional fat person who thinks they're helping themselves, or at least maintaining their health, when they're not. Because I lie to myself quite well. I have, anyway. You have to be able to lie to yourself pretty well to stay as drunk as I was for as long as I was. You know, when you find yourself in a Burger King bathroom drinking Listerine, you've lied to yourself pretty well for a pretty long time to justify all that. And it's usually a little series of bargains along the way. It's not one huge leap, you know. I don't know. Is my makeup running? It shouldn't. Mark did it. He did a really good job. So, I'm keeping your name out of my mouth. I said the makeup looked good.
Oh, thanks.
So BB's video comes up, and BB cooked West African cassava stew. BB cooks and Chantal puts the captions in because his English, I didn't find it too hard to understand, but he does have a thick accent, and she said he slips in and out of French sometimes. So she covered that. I've tried very little food from the entire continent of Africa. It's just not something that we had locally, and I haven't traveled much. It looked good. I'd be interested in trying it. Another thing, I know I'm doing some sidebars here, but this video is as much about foodie beauty as it is about topics she brings up. So I like different kinds of foods. Mark, I'm bringing you into this.
All right.
Because I need to make a point here.
Okay.
Not a point, but it's a question. So let's say I brought home African food.
Yes.
Now, right off the bat, have you had African food?
I have.
Okay. Let's say it was something you weren't sure. Sometimes I will give Mark a spoon and say, here, taste this. And he looks at it and goes, what is it?
Yeah.
Or he'll say, I don't know if I want to try it. What is the and maybe you're this type of person. It's just a question. It's interrogative. Why would you say no? What is the worst thing that would happen if you tasted a bit of food you didn't like?
Well,
Are you gonna explode? Are you gonna rupture a bowel? Like, what's gonna happen?
No.
You spit it out?
Are you asking me this as a question?
Yes.
Well,
I want you to answer for everybody else who goes,
well, first of all, I think it's just an automatic response. I don't think sometimes it's a conscious, like a conscious response. I think it's automatic. You could burn your mouth if it's hot.
I blow on it before I give it to you.
But does everybody do that?
Well, they should if they
and
care.
How do I know if my level of comfort is your level of comfort? You might blow on it, but it might still be too hot for me.
Okay, what if it was cold, but you didn't know what it was?
Well, then I may not know what exactly it is.
What? Okay, what do you think I would give you? A spoonful of Drano?
I don't know.
Could
Maybe
you hand me
might
those,
be upset
please?
that day.
Could you hand me those?
Yes.
While you're here, this is taking too long. I'm done with this debate. I think it's weird when people swing away. tasting of food.
All right, well, I'll be sure not to do that. I don't know the answer. I think it's just an automatic thing.
Speaking of poor lifestyle choices and explaining them.
And then we could go into the whole psychology of it. My mom, when I was very young, would do that to me all the time.
Oh, please.
And she gave me stuff that I didn't like.
You're 50. I don't care. That was 50 years ago. I don't really care. So next we go into Ziggy Stardust and Spaghetti from Mars. This is the last video so far. So she made some scratch sauce, which looked dynamite. It was beef, pork, and San Marzano tomatoes, and all sorts of good stuff. She had the Bowie shirt on again. This is number 3. Makeup. Hers was better. Maybe. Worse. I don't know. We had Bowie up trying to do it. And, she said the sauce was literally best she ever made. No theme to the video, just dressing up. She talked about music, her upcoming party with Pete's that they're going to be having. She's going to film it, because she said for some reason YouTube has been hit or miss lately. This has been reported by a bunch of different channels. There was assumptions about Amberlynn Reed and her channel being down for a while, and then was it having limited ads, and then people saying no she did and no she didn't, and all sorts of stuff. She said some of her live streams, yes or no, are sometimes being demonetized. I rarely don't get a video monetized. Ones about mental health that I do that are exclusively about that, they do. Anything about ending one's life will get demonetized. And actually, 2 weeks ago, Coffee Talk that we did, it was the beginning of Vlogtober. That one, it goes through the original monetization check, which takes like 40... It says it takes less than 20 minutes. It does not. It can take a while. It's taken an hour and a half sometimes. It'll pass that. I posted it 2 weeks ago for Coffee Talk. It stayed up for 5 days with ads. Then it was flagged for limited ads. And I put it in for a manual review. And it was declined. Still limited ads. No ads after a review. So it was good for 5 days, which is when you make usually like the bulk of your AdSense and stuff like that, and when the most people see it, at least on ours. So I don't understand it. I didn't think there was anything wrong, and I guess initially, the algorithms and the mechanics that view the videos didn't see it either, but a manual review did. So I don't know. Oh, and she's talking about OnlyFans. Not sex, just lingerie. There's a market for it. More people would pay to see Chantal than they would anybody else, honestly. Those niche markets for women of size, for all that kind of stuff, people will pay, and they'll pay big, actually. She doesn't want the photos leaked, though, or the videos leaked, and she thinks people would. Is fair use fair use fair use? Like, couldn't somebody take it from there, copy it, put it on YouTube, and react to it? I mean, it just because someone pays a membership for it doesn't mean they can't take it and use it somewhere else. I might be misunderstanding copyright as such. But copyright is not an invention of YouTube. It's laws and stuff. So then she talked about making treat bags for the homeless and throwing a 5 spot in them. Cute. That's a nice idea. Christmas, she wants to give back and do a giveaway. Very cool idea. Always in support of creators giving back, especially if you get a whole hell of a lot, either in AdSense, gifts, time, work, if you got a lot of mods. Anything you can give back to viewers is always good, I think. And she said just because someone doesn't have 3 brats in the house and a 9-to-5 job doesn't mean they don't have things to do. Because she had personal stuff to handle, so she was off for a while. Yeah, you could. I think people might assume she has more leverage over her time because she, works from home and makes her own schedule and whatever. I can tell you I probably put in about 20 to 25 hours a week on YouTube, and I have a full-time job aside from that. So, luckily, but we like doing YouTube. It's not our full-time gig, so it doesn't feel like work. And we make part-time money doing it. So it's a fun thing for us to do. If it was our whole bread and butter, it would be a 40-hour to 50-hour work week for the two of us. I'm not sure what the channel would look like if it was the only thing we were doing. And then she said, Vlogmas, we shall see. So I'm going to cruise through this. We're spending a lot of time together today, aren't we? I'm going to cruise through the community post here. Should it come up? And this was right after the car thing when she's talking about food and eating and whatnot. Alright, so I have to dress something for all the beautiful obese women of YouTube here. I've been getting a weird amount of messages or emails asking me where Amberlynn is. Amberlynn Reed was gone for a week off YouTube-ish. Just in the last couple days, she put out something on her community board saying she was okay. As if Amberlynn... As if it's my business, and as if I even knew, and if I did, I would spill tea to internet randoms. So Chantal needed to make Amberlynn's drama about her, so she brought it in. I don't doubt a few people asked her, but I don't think it was a lot. I have seen that she's been away for a few days, and on her last video about 8,000 comments or more making the most absurd, childish speculations as to where she could be. Anything from her being deceased, because anytime a bigger person takes a break or is absent, they've died. Well, a lot of these bigger folks have long, ongoing health problems. When they talk about this, you know, big girl gang, it's usually about 4 women that most of us, I think, probably know. All of them have identified health problems. Serious ones, you know, serious ones. And they'll tell you all about them, too. So yes, if a person with an ongoing chronic health problem who talks about it frequently disappears with no communication, it's worth asking some questions, you know? To her channel being demonetized, so is she gone as that? Demonetized for what? Being an obese person and eating something other than a salad? Oh, here we go. For not sticking to a diet? You may have a personal problem with us bigger girls. There's her rally of a chubby gang. You know, when you can rally a crowd, you feel like you can say more things if you feel like people have your back. And that's not unique to this situation, but I think that's what she's trying to say. We have a right to do what we want with our bodies, and no one has the right to spread hate around just because of it. Okay. I know a few skinny people who ate like crap their entire lives and never gained weight, but died from diabetic cholesterol-related issues. Do you know any overweight people who ate healthy their like... People will say we are disliked because we lie and flip-flop. No, we don't. Yes, you do. You do. You flip-flop constantly. You've said you flip-flop and referred to it as whiplash. See, people lie about us. Do people lie about you? Yeah. But do you flip-flop? Yeah. Let's not like point fingers here and not take responsibility for our part in what's going on. So, people lie all the time. Amber's not demonetized. That would be discrimination. Well, you can fight that fight with YouTube if something comes up. She does her vlogs and people read way too into it. It's obsessive and weird, and if you contribute to that, you are worse and not welcome here. I will always filter my comments and quite frankly don't care if it costs me views. When you filter your comments, it's no longer a comment section. It's not a comment section when you filter out everything that you don't like. It's a compliment section. You should change it and say, if you want to hear all the nice things people said about me, read below. If you... nothing negative will be said about me. So there's no... The only discussion going on below the video is what a great person Chantal is. So if you just want a list of compliments, you should just put that in the description, I guess. You know. Never have, never will. I also don't care if you approve of my dietary choices and talk shit and beat the dead horse over and over. Well, I don't care. If you're going to continue unapologetically, do me and I think other obese women a favor on here and do the same. All this to say that no, I don't know where Amber Reed is, and it's none of our business. Why do you all want her back so badly? Because we've... never mind, I'm not going to say it. Admit it, it's because without her uploading, you have no one to beat up in comment sections and reaction leeches have no content. We've been getting along fine without Amberlynn Reed. It's been okay. She's probably not feeling physically and mentally well and is battling things or living life off camera. If I put up with daily abuse, I would too. Anyone would. You deflect and claim she deserves it because you think she lied or did something shady in the past, and that somehow gives thousands of people the right to continually demean this person and fat shame, instead of just unsubscribing. We don't owe anyone anything regarding our weight. Shaking my head.
Oh my goodness.
If you had a craft channel and people commented on your weight all the time and what you eat, yeah, that'd be out of line. If you have a food channel with food in the title and you eat food in every video, yeah, if you're surprised people bring up food and your food choices, you're an idiot.
Yep.
You're a complete idiot. So no, you're not surprised by it, I'm sure. I imagine it's uncomfortable because who wants to get picked on for that? But when we decide what we're going to put out about ourselves on Main Street and then throw that into the internet and throw it into the world, that's kind of what it could go on. So So where do we go from here? It's still Mucktober, as far as it seems. And we will continue to go through Mucktober together. And we shall see. I don't know. The weather's getting colder. I'm sure it's getting much colder in Canada, so I suspect we'll be inside. I don't know that we're going to go to the pumpkin patch again. More food? More food? More food videos? This was the only community post in a while that was slightly controversial, so I don't know how much controversy could be on the way. We shall see. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And my Bowie face paint is here for it too. So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the like button and the bell on your way out so you get the alerts. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Twitter, our handle is at SmokeySteveA. Our email address and our contact information is all listed down below. Thank you again, and Mark and I will be going live tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So feel free to stop by and check us out if you say hi, if you feel so inclined. And we'll also be drawing the winner from today's giveaway. So again, leave a comment below, any comment you like, and you'll be entered. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.